Greetings, YouTube. My name is Uncle the Osman on Overlip, and welcome to my channel. Today is Sunday, Monday, August 17th, 2020, 12:14 p.m. or 8 a.m. Sorry. I guess this would be a follow-up video to my Gears of War rant that I made a few months ago. Now let's just get it out of the way for any Gears of War fanboys out there. Yes, I suck at the game. Not really, but I suck at the game. Uh, it's funny because I have a certain booklet. I have a CD booklet full of like, you know, big budget games or whatever that I want to let's play, like the Gears of War games, the Halo games, the Call of Duty games, the Battlefield games, the Medal of Honor games, and um, excuse me, and lost my train of thought. Well, I never knew what I wanted to say anyway. I was kind of winging it here, like I always do. But I was I just gave it up my Let's Play on Gears of War, and I was in like this little square area, like a squared circle area, and these enemies start rushing us from all over the place. They start coming out the sewers, and I'm shooting these guys. One guy I actually shot. He was behind cover. I shot him like in his shoulder or his head or something like that. He gets up, runs from cover, and I'm still shooting at him, mind you. I'm still shooting at him. He runs from one piece of cover to the other piece. Now, mind you, I'm not hitting him with every single bullet, but I'm shooting at this guy, shooting his legs, his butt, his arms, his head, his shoulders, and he just hops over into another piece of cover. And I'm like, that's weird. It made me laugh because every game, even games that came out before Gears of War, get called Gears of War clone, and oh, this game is a cover system like Gears of War, or this game is a dumbed down, you know, cover system, or this game, has a dumbed down cover system, like or a dumbed down version of the Gears of War cover system. And my thing is Gears of War really a cover-based shooter? Is it? I mean, it's called a cover-based shooter. It's so revolutionary and whatever. But is it really a cover-based shooter? Now, I just completed the Uncharted games, and I will admit, I played it on normal, and there were a lot of times where I was being shot, and I just run from one piece of cover to another while I'm still being shot. And of course, that game has a regenerating health system, but I mean, Uncharted is even still that game's known. That game's considered like at least half adventure game and half shooter. So the shooting almost doesn't matter. When you look at how many enemies they toss at you at one time, like I was fighting like 15 or 10 enemies or whatever, so sometimes 20 enemies, if not all at once, then just one after another, after another, after another, after another. So you can't really take the Uncharted games shooting too seriously. You can't. It's still fun though. Like I say, out of all of them, I probably enjoyed the shooting and the gunplay, and Uncharted won the best. But yeah. So I don't know. I don't know about that right there. I don't know about that. You know, I play a lot of shooters. They're one of my favorite genres. And I think a lot of people they get they get more caught up in the name cover-based shooters than they do in the actual meaning of cover-based shooters. The whole point of cover is to protect you from getting shot, and you know, to protect the enemy. That's why they take cover. That's why you take cover. It shouldn't be, oh, you know, like, oh, I got you in the shoulder, I got you in the head. Oh, you're still not dead. Oh, you're gonna run from this piece of cover to the next piece of cover while I'm still shooting at you and still not go down. I don't understand that right there. I don't understand that right there. And I get it. I get it. You know, the enemies in the game, they're huge. You know, they're stronger than humans. I forgot what they're called. You know, but they're pretty burly, muscular creatures or humanoids or whatever. They're kind of like humans, but it's like that's no excuse. That's no excuse. That's no excuse. I can't accept that right there. I can't consider Gears of War a cover-based shooter. Now, if the player is out in the open, you're not going to survive that long, and that makes a little sense. It doesn't. It makes sense, but even still, like I can't. I, I can't. I can't accept that. That's just too. It's too one. It's too one-sided. It's too one-sided. I can't really consider Gears of War a cover-based shooter because it isn't. It isn't. Now, maybe I just suck. Maybe the rest of the game isn't like what I experienced. And I've beaten Gears of War a few times. Well, I think twice. I beat that game without Let's Playing it, and I didn't really notice it. I didn't really care too much to you know to think about it. But you know, you know, the more I realize how much of a shooter fan I am, then that's when I start finding little stuff, you know, that may not matter to other people, but matters to me. And that's another reason why when I first started my when I first started decided I wanted to let's play, and when I decided I wanted to let's play only shooters, that's why I tried to keep the sci-fi shooters separate. Like I had a sci-fi section. I had a section that was like, you know, like realistic or pseudo realistic, like Rainbow Six and Ghost Recon, and like First to Fight, a Marine game, America's Army. I try to keep those games separate because as a shooter fan, there's things that I come to expect out of shooters. I'm not gonna expect the same thing, you know, out of a BioShock game than I would out of, you know, a Call of Duty game or a Rainbow Six game, or you know, like something like Rogue Warrior, or um what is it called, Soldier of Fortune, or something like that. You know, particularly, you know, like with the enemies, you know, like usually how many shots it takes, you know, to bring them down or whatever. That's why I try to make that different. And I don't think it's right. You know, with Gears of War, it's basically a sci-fi game. It's a military, whatever sci-fi game. You play as a space marine, but people are, a lot of people, there's plenty of fanboys out there to say it's the best thing ever. It's the best cover system. It's so innovative. The cover system is this, is that, it's this, is that. The cover system's trash. Let's be honest. It's it's very sloppy. It is. I mean, yeah, you can take cover, but it's just, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I actually played before attempting to let's play those the four Gears of War games. I played a game called what was it called? I forgot what it was called. Quantum Break was basically I don't like calling games clones of other games, but as far as graphics go, like it used the same engine or whatever, like Epic, the Unreal Engine. It looked a lot like Gears of War. And one thing I can say about that game, when you got a headshot, you you know the game will slow down every time you got a headshot, and it was kind of easy to get headshots. And even though I didn't finish that Let's Play, even though there were things about the game I didn't like, I appreciated that much. Usually on a lot of regular enemies or a lot of whatever enemies, when you got a headshot, you knew it. When you got a headshot, it was a headshot. There were times in Gears of War where I'm shooting the guy in the head, shoulders, whatever. It's not going down. I'm like, do I have to aim in a certain part of the head? What I learned is that you have to shoot them a few times in the head before they go down. And I'm like, I get that, but I don't get why people are saying this is the best, this is the best thing, or this is the best whatever. I don't get that right there because I let's played Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter, the first one for the 360. I completed it. That game is great. That game is, yeah, like I would put that game up against a lot of cover-based third-person shooter games, including Gears of War. That's how you. I mean, that's. I'm not gonna say it's the best, but I was pretty impressed. I was pretty impressed. Like, if I would have came from the sixth gen straight to that game, like to that type of shooter, I would have been really frustrated, but really impressed as well because it's kind of a brutal game sometimes, and I don't know if you can call Gears of War a cover-based shooter because the cover doesn't matter. The fact that you have to shoot enemies more than you know 2 or 3 times in the head doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Yeah, maybe if I was using a assault rifle or a shotgun or whatever, maybe that would have mattered. But no. I just I just can't do that right there. That's why even now I try to separate my games. I have my sci-fi games. I have my shooters. Like the military or whatever type of shooters. And I try to keep things separate because when I'm let's playing, sometimes I'm in the mood for something where I know like okay, shoot the guy a few times, he goes down. Sometimes I want some sci-fi, you know. But you do have to give credit to certain games; they get it right. Because when I played Resistance for the PS3, the first Resistance, even though it was sci-fi, one thing I can say about that game: headshots matter. They matter. They may not have went down with one bullet or one shot, but they went down pretty reasonably. At least 2 or 3 shots, they're dead. That I can give a pass. If you're going to be sci-fi, because see that's another rule. Well, that's not one of my rules. Let me see. I'm not quite sure, but you do have to give credit to the games that are sci-fi where headshots or body damage actually matters. And Gears of War, does it really matter? I mean, I could have stuck it out, and just beat the game. And will it get any better from 2 to 3 to Judgment? Maybe, but I didn't feel like sticking around to find out. So yeah, like I officially declare Gears of War, although my opinion isn't worth anything. But that's not a cover-based shooter. It isn't. It's not a cover-based shooter. It's not. It is not. It's about as bad as Halo when it comes to like, you know, body damage and whatever else. I can't. I mean, I can't do it. It's probably the cleanest looking game that uses the Epic or the Unreal engine. Yeah, but that's because it's probably the most funded game. Like they use. It's probably the most funded game that runs on the Epic engine or the Unreal engine. But I can't call it that. I can't, because there's plenty of other games that came before it and after it to do third person cover based shooting way better. Way better. Way better. And I'm not saying Gears of War needs to be realistic or like other games or whatever. I'm just saying that it's unfair, or that it was unfair when people were saying Gears of War is the best cover based shooter ever, or it's one of the most innovative, and so many games took like so many games took inspiration, or Gears of War is inspiration for so many games. And I'm like, are you serious? Are you serious? Do you know what you're looking at? Because like having to shoot enemies that many times, no, it may be a good game, but a good cover-based shooter, I don't know. I think people they like the name cover-based shooter more than they like the meaning, more than they like, or more than they want to even care about what cover-based shooting really is. And I'm not saying that all games should be like the way I'm describing them, but I don't know. I don't know. Like with a lot of the cover-based shooters that I've played, enemies go down pretty quickly. It seems to be kind of the standard to where, like, if a game's third person and it's cover-based, enemies should go down pretty reasonably. That's what I thought. Like, look back at the PS2. Let's use that for an example. Never mind Winback 1 and 2. I suck at Winback 1 and 2. I'm trying to let's play those games one day. But look back at James Bond, Everything or Nothing. I mean, that game lets you target specific body parts sometimes. Also headshots. Usually one shot to the head, poof, he's down. Yeah, you can aim. You can aim without actually leaning out of cover and line up a headshot, but still, it mattered. Look at From Russia with Love. Same thing. You got a headshot. That's the whole point of cover. Even if you're shooting at somebody and they're behind cover, they're going down pretty quickly. They're not taking a bunch of shots to the collarbone, the chest, the shoulders, and the head. 2 or 3 shots, maybe 4, they're down. And if it's a headshot, probably just 1. Look at Rogue Ops. Rogue Ops for the another game I let's played. Same thing. That game is brutal, but you get a headshot. That's a headshot. That's a headshot. Look at Rogue Trooper. You get a headshot. It's a headshot. You know. And I'm sure there's other games I'm forgetting to mention. Look at any of these Splinter Cell games on the seventh gen. They use the cover. They use the cover system. Same thing. Same thing. Look at the Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter games. It's the same thing. Okay, so if that's the standard, I mean, Gears of War has to follow that. I mean, they don't have to, but I mean, you can't say, "Oh, this is the best cover-based shooter you ever play," and enemies take, you know, whatever amount of, like a ridiculous amount of shots to the point where you can shoot them while they're behind cover. They get from behind that cover, run to another piece of cover while they're still being shot at. I don't know. I don't think Gears of War is a cover-based shooter. I think people just like the name. They like the name, and they're like, it's whatever. Like when Assassin's Creed Black Flag came out, and they were like, Assassin's Creed is the best pirate game ever. It puts other pirate games, to shame or whatever. I'm like, what? No, it isn't. How? And everyone just ignored, all the other pirate games that came out before that, before Assassin's Creed. Now, it may get ship combat correctly, and whatever else, maybe like island exploration. It may do that, those things really well, and hunting for treasure. But it isn't the best pirate game. It isn't. It isn't. I mean, look at the whole concept. Pirates do stuff, and they hang flags, right? To say, I did this. Assassins are kind of the opposite. They're really private. They like to do things stealthily. So what are you, an assassin or a pirate? Make up your mind. I mean, what? Everybody you assassinate, you're gonna leave a sign here saying, "Oh, this was done by the 18th Order or whatever." I mean, doesn't make any sense. But anyway, I don't think Gears of War is a cover-based shooter. I don't think it is. I don't think it's. I never liked it. I liked it, but I never really put that game on like any sort of pedestal like people do. Like you got your Gears of War people saying, "Oh, Gears of War is the best game ever. It's whatever, blah 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 blah." And then you got your Halo guys. Halo Wars just is that. It's whatever. And you got your Call of Duty guys, and you got your Battlefield guys, and you got your Medal of Honor guys. Then you got people that like all of them, or they're like, more than one of the games or franchises that I just named. I just let's play them because, or try to let's play them because I like shooters, and I bought all those games after the hype, like years after the hype. I always knew I wanted all the Call of Duty games, but I was like, the campaigns are kind of short from what I've heard. Multiple people say that they're more multiplayer focused than single player, so I'll put those on the back burner. Wait till the 360 dies and there's no games being made for it anymore, and there are no games that I want currently for it. Then I'll go ahead and pick up all the Call of Duty games, and that's what I did. I picked up all the Call of Duties, all the Battlefronts, all the Gears of War, all the Medal of Honor games. Hooray for me! But yeah, Gears of War. No, it's not a cover-based shooter. It's not. In name, yes. In execution, not so much. Because I will say this much: if you're out in the open for too long, you're dog food. Let's just face it. And that's the thing that kills it right there. That's the thing that kills it, because you can die pretty easily out in the open. The enemies, maybe I'm playing it wrong, But that one thing I saw, with that guy, he got from out of cover, ran into a brand new piece of cover while still being shot at. I'm like, come on. The fact that that happens, but yet you die. I don't know what I'm trying to say. The fact that that happens, but the player dies very quickly. Not very quickly, but the fact that the computer's more lenient on the AI characters than they are on the player characters. You know, that's what makes it not a cover-based shooter. And I understand why they have to do that. It's called difficulty. It's called adding challenge. But you can make a game challenging while still making it fair. Games don't have to be unrealistically unfair to be challenging. They don't. But I guess I'm done. Maybe I'll make another video one day, ranting more about shooters. But I'll definitely make another video. Will it be about Gears of War? Who knows? Will I ever come back and try to let's play those Gears of War games that I gave up on? I don't know. I don't know. Probably not. But anyway, you guys, I just want to get that off my chest. Just to rant and talk about how I don't think Gears of War is a cover-based shooter. And that's about it. So until next time, you guys, I'll see you for my next Let's Play. Stay safe, be safe, whatever. Try to protect yourself from this whole pandemic that we're going through right now. And I'll see you guys for my next Let's Play, which will probably be Alias. I'll probably just continue from Alias where I left off. Alright guys, take care.